Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So today I've been out all day today, so I really haven't had currently chance to currently do any live streams today, but been reading a couple of media reports as I currently said. Not much has really updated, to be quite honest with you, as I currently said. But the big question is the pitch. We can see that central defenders are playing out from the back, such as Lindelof and Eric Bailly, and I think they are fantastically, they look very, very good together, the Lindelof and Eric Bailly. I think there's John, fantastic partnership, and I do think they're on a level, they're on another level, to Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, who I do think, could leave Manchester United, at the end of the season, to be quite honest with you. And we do get players, to leave in the summer. I think experienced players will leave in the summer, so we'll have to think about, recruiting, to get some players in the summer. Obviously, we're still looking to hire a director of football to come into the club as well, and obviously we are still in search to get a full-time manager at the end of the season. But obviously now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to be the favoured number one manager, to take the job on a full-time basis, because he's won unbeaten in 9 games, as I currently said. Sorry, should I say unbeaten in 10 games, won 9 out of 10 as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said, 25 goals scored in the process, only 7 goals conceded, and we've won 5 away games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said. But you can see the vast improvements in the team, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming. I think, Herrera and Matic are pulling the strings off well in the midfield, and I think, the front men are getting the freedom, to interchange closer together. Paul Pogba's, getting the freedom, to express himself very, very well. So the majority of the team, playing with confidence. The team's been motivated very, very well, as I currently said. But, the lineup we did go with on Leicester, against Leicester the lineup we did go with against Leicester is probably, our best 11. Obviously Sanchez was there, so mainly it wasn't our best 11. But if you took Sanchez out and put Martial in there, that's arguably our best 11, as I currently said. But we have got a couple of fringe players in our squad, as we all currently know. But obviously the Manchester United board are making plans, to invest some money in the summer. As I currently said, reportedly we're going to be getting around a £200 million spending spree to spend in the summer. Whether it's still going to be Solskjaer's got the job on a full-time basis, or it's going to be Pochettino, someone else. Reportedly we're going to get around £200 million to spend in the summer, but we can afford this because we have got the financial power, to spend big in the summer, considering that we didn't get any players, throughout the January transfer window. But as I did say, 9 out of 10, we've won under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and you can see the vast improvements, but there is still room for improvement in the team. As I currently said, we do need a strong central defender. We need someone on that right-hand side as well, because as I did say, the majority of our attacking is coming from the left-hand side, and arguably we do need a centre defensive midfielder as well. But the players who I really, really think have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think Lindelof's played very, very well. I think he's very, very good. He's a good central defender, and I think he's played well this season. Bailly, I think he needs to get more in the team, because I think Bailly and Lindelof, complement each other well. But I do think the whole majority of the team's improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's got him playing in the right way, and he has got him playing the United way. And I think Matic has really, really improved. Even though I do think Matic is slow, and I do have reservations, about Nemanja Matic, but I think his distribution's improved. I think he's more effective in his passing. So to be fair, Matic has really, really improved, and I've been very, very impressed with Ander Herrera, because I think they're a good. I think they look very, very effective in that midfield. Herrera, Matic, and Pogba. And Herrera, I've always liked Ander Herrera. I think he's a very, very good player, good at breaking up the play, as I currently said, and he's galloping forward more, just like Nemanja Matic. And obviously, since Solskjaer's coming, Ander Herrera has been more of a regular, in the team, as I currently said, getting more starts from the start, as I currently said, and hopefully somewhere along the line we can sign a new contract, and we have still got to sort contracts out as well. But we have, got a couple of fringe players in our team. As I said, I think Sanchez is a fringe player. Lukaku is a fringe player as well. I think Scott Montominway is a fringe player. Andres Pereira is a fringe player. So we have got quite a few, fringe players in our squad. And we've got quite a few players, that are aging up, such as Valencia and Ashley Young, who possibly, could leave in the summer. As I currently have said. But this main video is in relation, to Alexis Sanchez, because I really, really do think, since Sanchez has come to Manchester United, he has struggled for consistency, and he's been here just over the years, enjoyed a difficult time at Manchester United. I think he's lost, the pace a little bit. I think he has lost a yard of pace as Sanchez. I think he has a lot of weaknesses in his game now. He hasn't proven himself at Manchester United. He's not the player he was at Arsenal, and he's Premier League proven, as we all currently know, but he's not the player, that he was at Arsenal, Alexis Sanchez. And we know obviously Solskjaer was discussing about giving everybody the chance, about rotating the squad, which he has been doing, rotating the squad, get the players to express themselves and get them enjoying football. But he did say he was going to give everybody the chance, including the young players, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm. But Sanchez, for me, he's enjoyed difficult, time since he's come to United. Obviously, he's had a couple of injuries as well as Alexis Sanchez. But, the question is, will Sanchez improve? If he gets more game time under Solskjaer, will he improve Alexis Sanchez? Because we know mainly under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that Martial's been first choice. Martial and Rashford have been first choice over the likes of Sanchez and Romelu Lukaku, as I currently said, because Sanchez, there's areas of his game that he does need to adapt. As I currently said, he's on over £500,000 a week, so potentially he's our highest paid player, as we all currently know. But, obviously it was a swap deal with Mkhitaryan, last January last year, as we all currently know. Mkhitaryan obviously has had a couple of injury problems, since he's been at Arsenal as well, so mainly, he's been the same. But, the one player we did buy from Arsenal, who did very, very well for us and won us, the league title in 2013 was Robin van Persie. I think he scored 30 goals in one season, so he was a good buy, for Manchester United. But Sanchez really, hasn't, been that good, and to be quite honest with you, we know it was a swap deal. I'm not sure if a fee was actually included, but it was a swap deal. But Sanchez really, really does need to improve, and to be quite honest with you. But we know Martial's obviously our first choice on that left because he's very, very influential on that left-hand side. Is Anthony Martial, as we all currently know. Very, very young, 23 years of age. And you can see Sanchez is aging up as well. But Martial's 23 and he's got years ahead of him, to grow and develop, as Anthony Martial, as I currently said. Lukaku, you can class him as a fringe player as well because he's slow. He hardly has any pace about his game. And he doesn't complement our front line. And I know he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League and he can score goals. Solskjaer's rejuvenated his form, a little bit, when Lukaku has been getting the chance to play, which he has done, recently. Didn't have a good game against Burnley, as I currently said, but he's still a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. But Lukaku, as I did currently say, you've got the likes of Martial, who's got pace, who can press out the pitch. You've got the likes of Lingard, who can press out the pitch and who's got pace as well, and also to Martial. As I did say, Rashford and all that, Lukaku hasn't got any of this. So what Rashford and that can offer, essentially, Lukaku is not, cannot do this, as I currently said. This is why mainly Lukaku and Sanchez are not being first choice over Martial and Rashford, as I currently said. So, yeah, he has been talking about rotating the squad as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer has actually been praising, Marcus Rashford, for his fantastic performances, especially putting a good performance out against Leicester at the weekend. Especially, putting a good performance out against Leicester yesterday. Rashford scored a really, really good goal. I think it's now 6 goals in 8 games, for Marcus Rashford, and he's on fire. He's Marcus Rashford. Only 21 years of age. He's versatile. He can play out wide, can Rashford. But in my opinion, I think he looks much, much better centrally. Does Marcus Rashford. I think he operates, better in that position. But against Leicester, it was a good performance in the first 15-20 minutes. We're pressing out the pitch, we're passing the ball very, very well. The movement, was causing problems for Leicester, as I couldn't have said, and we was exposing their defence, with how well we played in that first 15-20 minutes. You could see where, there were players playing out from the back, we were getting fullbacks out of the pitch, totally controlling the midfield, pulling the strings off very, very well in the midfield. But I think after that, Leicester did grow into the game. Leicester had chances of their own. I think Leicester did have more chances than us. I think Leicester had around 17 chances. We had 10. I think we both created 10 chances each as well. Rashford missed a sitter as well, before he scored the goal. So potentially Rashford could have got, at least another 2 goals. So he could have mainly got a hat-trick because he had a couple of chances apart from the goal as well. But the goal was well taken. Lovely technique from Paul Pogba, and I think if Paul Pogba does keep playing in that position, in that number 10 role, just behind the centre forward, which I think is Paul Pogba's preferred position, he can keep getting assists like that because he was the architect of the assist. Lovely ball, lovely touch from Paul Pogba, and the touch and the composure from Rashford to finish like that was just absolutely fantastic. And that is a goal scorer, from a clinical. That's a goal, from a clinical striker, as I currently said, Marcus Rashford. But being United player since the age of 7, progressing up the ranks very, very well. And we have been in talks of getting him a new contract at the club as well, a new long-term deal. His current deal does end in 2020. with Manchester United, does Marcus Rashford, but obviously he's only on £6,000 a week at the moment. But as I did currently say, we have been in talks of getting him a new long-term deal, which will boost his wage. It will give him a wage increase. He'll receive around £200,000 a week. Will Marcus Rashford, if we can get him to a new long-term deal. His current deal does end in 2020. I think there's an option of a further year as well, but hopefully, where we can get him a new long-term deal, the club as well. But I've been impressed the majority of the team, since Solskjaer's coming. I think the structure of the team's right. I think the cohesion of the team's right, as I currently said, and I think it's changed the balance of the team as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And you can just see the vast improvements, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming in. You can see that he doesn't rest on his laurels. He knows how to change a game. He has got a game plan, and he shows that inspiration on the touchline. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and obviously, of course, he has been discussing Solskjaer about getting the job on a full-time basis. He'd love to get the job on a full-time basis, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as he did currently say, but he knows everything about the club. He knows what's happened to the club, and he knows the club inside out. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he was a great player for 11 years. Scored loads and loads of goals, won trophies, and you watch some of these players, grow and develop. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he was currently managing the Manchester United reserve team. As I currently said, but he knows everything about this club, as I currently said. It was a shame we didn't get anyone in the January transfer window, but as Solskjaer said early on, and he said throughout the January window early on, he didn't expect us to make any signings, and he did say, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he said it was unlikely that Manchester United were going to make any signings, as he did currently confirm. But yeah, good record so far, 9 out of 10 wins, in all competitions, 7 wins in the Premier League, as I currently said. So it's looking very, very good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment, and I think he should be now the favoured, to get the job on a full-time basis. I think if he is to, if he does get the job on a full-time basis, I hope that he, does get backed in the summer. But reportedly, the Glazers, who obviously own Manchester United, are set to give us around the £200 million spending spree to spend in the summer. Because as I did say, I do think players will believe in Manchester United. So I think experienced players are going to believe in. So we'll have to maybe think about getting some young players that can grow and develop and mould under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Solskjaer is the right man for Manchester United, in my opinion. As I currently said, he's the right man, and I think he can get this team to where they want to be. And I think obviously our objective this season is to get in that top 4, get the Champions League for next season, and obviously we can still possibly win the FA Cup, and that would be a remarkable achievement if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could get us to win the FA Cup, as I currently said. But we're only 2 points behind top 4 now, which is very, very good news. So it's definitely top 4's on. There's quite a few teams going for that top 4, as I currently said, but as I currently said, but actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on Sunday as well. This is another thing I like about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was in France on Sunday watching Paris Saint-Germain in action, because Solskjaer is fully aware that he knows the game between Manchester United and Paris Saint-Germain are coming up soon in the first leg of the Champions League. And what Solskjaer's doing is he's figuring out how PSG play and stuff like that. So he's got common sense as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's figuring out how PSG play, so that he can think about when the game comes closer and closer, what lineup that Manchester United are going to go with. As I currently said, PSG actually did suffer their first defeat of the season in Ligue 1. They lost to Lyon by 2-1 because PSG were actually undefeated before they lost to Lyon yesterday as well. But reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there closely monitoring how PSG play, and he was trying to suss out PSG's system and all that. So he is very, very good. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said. I think we are capable of beating Paris Saint-Germain. I know PSG are a good team, and they have got some good players, because they have invested quite a lot of money into their team, with the signing of Neymar and Mbappe and all that. And I do think Mbappe is a really good player. I think Rashford's as good as Mbappe now, to be quite honest. He's on the same kind of level as him, if he isn't better. I hope Lukaku starts playing again. Well, yes, I do. I think, to be quite fair in terms of Lukaku, as I was saying earlier on in the video, I think since Solskjaer's coming, I think he has kind of rejuvenated his form. But what concerns me about Lukaku is, obviously, his first touch does concern me, and he's quite slow. But as I did say, he's obviously not really been first choice, because we know Rashford and Martial have been ahead of Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, as we all currently know. But without a shadow of a doubt, Sanchez has got to really, really improve. There's areas of his game he definitely needs to adapt, but he's not the same player that he was at Arsenal in Alexis Sanchez. But if he can get more game time, Sanchez, he has had a couple of injuries, to be quite fair, since he has come to Manchester United. But hopefully, I do hope he will improve. But we've got a boost going into the Paris Saint-Germain game because obviously Neymar is injured. I think he's out for up to 10 weeks, so he's going to be actually missing both legs, is Neymar, which is very, very good news for us. I think he's out, is it till April, as I said, or something like that. But we still know it will be a tough game, it will be a tester for us, as I currently said. As next game is Fulham away on Saturday, early kickoff. That should be an easy 3 points for Manchester United, as I currently said. We've got to win the game, obviously, to keep pressure on that top four, as I currently said, because that's our objective this season. But obviously, I still think we may be a year off the league, at least a year off the league, because we do need to get some. We do need to get some signings. Someone, do you think De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world? Yeah, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he was better than Peter Schmeichel, even though I thought Peter Schmeichel was very, very good. I think he was better than Peter Schmeichel. There's quite a lot of good goalkeepers, out there. I thought, when Czech was obviously, a lot younger in his prime, the majority of the work he did with Chelsea, I thought he was one of the best goalkeepers in the world, Petr Cech, when he was at Chelsea. But there's quite a few good goalkeepers out there, but I just don't think they're on the same level as David De Gea, to quite honest with you. And that's my own opinion on it as well. But hopefully somewhere along the line, we can hopefully come to an agreement of getting De Gea a new contract at the club, because as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm that contract negotiations were progressing with the likes of De Gea. Obviously Martial's signed his new 5-year deal now with an option to extend by a further year, as I currently said. Wait there, I'm just going to charge my phone. Right there, I'm just going to it. Like that. But yeah, wait there, I'm fucking doing this. Wait there, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so hopefully somewhere along the line we can come to an agreement of getting De Gea a new long-term deal at the club. Reportedly, I think he's in the process that he's demanding that he wants around £300,000 a week. He's De Gea, but his progression has been fantastic, and the number of years he's been here, he's been an absolutely, fantastic goalkeeper. And we know that he was in the process of joining Real Madrid in 2015. He was on the brink of joining Real Madrid in 2015, but he didn't, as we all currently know. But I do really, really like De Gea. He's obviously committing his long-term future in Manchester United. Is De Gea, which is very, very good news, as I currently said. But it did actually say that Paris Saint-Germain, we're obviously interested in David De Gea as well. But we have been in talks of getting him a new long-term deal at the club, as I currently said. Since he's been here, he's made over 300 other appearances. He's won the club's player of the year 4 out of 5 seasons. He's won the Smart Buzzer Player of the Year quite a few times as well, and he's won everything in English football, of course, as David De Gea as well. But I think he's obviously demanding a wage increase. He wants to become one of the highest paid goalkeepers in world football. One of the highest paid players at the club as well is David De Gea. But I think in the process, he'll probably be the next likely player to commit to a new long-term deal, as I currently said. But we've still got other players coming tender deals, and as I do keep saying, I do hope somewhere along the line we can get Ander Herrera a new deal. We have been in talks of getting him a new deal at the club as well. Same with Paul Pogba, and I think Paul Pogba, when he's playing this well, because we've seen the best of Paul Pogba within this month or so, or just over, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's getting the freedom to express himself, scoring goals, providing assists, and obviously he wasn't doing this under Jose Mourinho because he didn't want to play under Mourinho. He had a bad relationship with Mourinho, and of course the whole team didn't want to play under Jose Mourinho, and he had disputes, with quite a lot of the players did Jose Mourinho, and he had disputes with the board as well. Obviously, the board weren't backing him throughout the course of last summer, to get the signings that he currently wanted to recommend into the club, as I said. But Paul Pogba, very, very good player, and he's a player that can be on 12 to 15 goals a season, when he's playing playing this well, Paul Pogba. But he is getting the freedom to express himself, as I currently said, and I think he fulfills that number 10 role, fantastically well. To be quite honest with you, does Paul Pogba. But in relation to Paul Pogba, he's still got currently 2 years left on his current deal at the moment. But I think it did say his current agent, Raiola, is set to have negotiations with the Man United board. I think it did say sometime this month about discussing about getting Paul Pogba to agree new terms to a new contract with Manchester United. But yeah, his performances have been absolutely fantastic indeed. But obviously there was strong speculation of him leaving last summer, especially at the last stages of Jose Mourinho's managerial tenure, because he had a bad relationship with Mourinho. And I think he did indicate, obviously last year Paul Pogba indicated that he wanted to make a return back to Juventus, but since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, he's settled in very, very well as Paul Pogba, and hopefully somewhere along the line we can get him a new long-term deal at the club. But he's starting to replicate the form, that he did at Juventus, because he had 4 fantastic years, when he was at Juventus, did Paul Pogba, as I currently said. So Paul Pogba, was very, very good at Juventus, as I currently said, but now he's playing really, really well for Manchester United, as I currently said. We've got other players, coming to the deals. We have been in talks, of getting, Ashley Young a new getting Ashley Young a new contract club as well. Obviously, we're only willing to offer him a 1-year extension, considering that he is age 33, Ashley Young, as we all could, but being a good servant over the years, he has been here since 2011, of course, and he has been here a good, 7-8 seasons now with Manchester United, been in the Premier League a lot of years, and he's an experienced fullback, is Ashley Young. I know when he was a lot younger in his prime, Ashley Young was mainly right winger, but obviously we operate him as a right back, Ashley Young, and of course he's won everything here, made over 300 odd appearances, but as I did say, I think he's currently past it now. I would like to see Diego Dalot come into contention, but obviously he hasn't really got the experience because he's very, very young in his prime, but I would like to see Diego Dalot, get a bit more game time, to be quite honest with you. But this is why I did say we do need someone on that right-hand side, because I do think, he's past it. Valencia, he's a player I think is going to leave in the summer. I think we do have the option to extend his deal by a further year as well, Antonio Valencia. He's 33 as well, but he's hardly getting in the team this season, is Antonio Valencia. He's hardly played in the Premier League this season, and obviously he can't get in the team. I think he had a couple of injury problems, early on in the season, did Antonio Valencia, and he's been a good servant. He's been here 10 year now, has he? Something like that. Made over 300 appearances, and of course won everything here as well, Antonio Valencia. So to be quite honest with you, he's another player we could be seeing leaving in the summer as well. There was strong speculation of him leaving in January. It did say Fulham and Newcastle were interested in him as well. So there was strong speculation about that. I think Christian Jones will probably be gone next season. Jones, I did say he's injury prone. He's known for injuries. He's Phil Jones. He has been here since 2012. But as I did say in relation to Phil Jones, I did say he's good when he gets in running games, but he is known for injuries. But Phil Jones and Chris Smalling are nowhere near on the same levels as Eric Bailly and Lindelof. I think Bailly and Lindelof very, very good centre-back partnership. I think they complement each other very, very well. Bailly's like the aggressive one who likes to, get forward, gallop forward. I think Lindelof's a good composed defender, but Bailly has got really, really a good potential, as I currently said. And Bailly and Lindelof are 2 centre-backs that were basically like Vidic, when we had Vidic and Ferdinand, because they were 2 fantastic centre-back partnerships, as I currently said. But we're still aware that we do need a strong central defender, to come in to the club in the summer. And I do think, Marcus Rojo will potentially, be leaving Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, in the summer as well. He's another player I think he'll leave, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time since he's come to United. He's enjoyed a very, very difficult time. He struggled with his fitness regime, struggled to get a run of games under his belt as Marcus Rojo. So to be quite honest, I think he's a good backup option, defensively, but I do expect him, to leave in the summer, to be quite honest with you, as I said. I do expect him, to leave in the summer. There's quite a few players I think will leave. I think probably at least 3 or 4 will leave in the summer, and then hopefully we'll look for how they current replacements. Maybe get 3 or 4 signings of his own in the summer. May get 2 or 3 in the summer. I'm not too sure, but we do need to get signings in the summer. If we are going to be potentially title contenders, as I said. I also expect Matteo Darmian to leave as well. He's another player I do really, really expect to leave Manchester United. Matteo Darmian's another player I think's really, really enjoyed a very, very difficult time, since he's come to Manchester United, Matteo Darmian. As I did say, Matteo Darmian, he's been here since 2015. It did say Juventus and Inter Milan were interested in Matteo Darmian, but obviously, he had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, and he was a lot younger in his prime, played the majority of his playing career in Italy. He began his career with Milan. I think he had about 4 seasons with Torino, and we paid just over, £12 million for him from Torino, but, he's enjoyed a difficult time, since he's come to Man United, and he can perform when he does play, but he hardly plays Matteo Darmian, as I currently said, so I do really, expect him to maybe leave in the summer as well. He could have left throughout the January transfer window, could Matteo Darmian as well. So I do expect, players, to depart in the summer. But obviously, if we're going to get around £200 million to spend, we can get players in with that money. But obviously, we've got to think about getting the right additions in to come in the summer. So we've got to, think about getting the right players, that are coming in the summer, that are capable of dramatically improving us and getting us in that position, where we want to be. But I have a lot of belief in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He understands the Premier League. He has the right philosophy. He understands everything about Manchester United. And I just think he knows what he's currently doing because he's got the right mentality. He's got the mentality into the team, and as I did say, he's brought the attacking football, that we saw under Alex Ferguson. As I currently said, because we had 27 great years under Alex Ferguson with great players. Alex Ferguson had, as I currently said. But since then, we've been playing catch up for 5 seasons. We've had 3 managers, that have currently been sacked. It hasn't worked out on them. And we've spent a lot of money since Ferguson left. We've spent about £700-800 million since Ferguson left. We've seen players come in and we've seen players go as well. But I do think we have got a really, really good team. We've got quality up front. We have got a lot of quality up front, that can score goals. I think Rashford's, not only his goal scoring form's improved, I think his finishing is really, really improved. So I think his end product has really, really improved as Marcus Rashford. So I've been very, very pleased with him. And you can say, essentially, he's one of our best players at the moment, is Marcus Rashford. I think Martial's done very, very well this season as well. But Solskjaer will hope he improves more, obviously with him the new 5-year deal, Anthony Martial as well. But yeah, there's a few players, we have been interested in who we would like to get in the summer, as I currently said. We know obviously his number one major target is Koulibaly, as I currently said, from Napoli. As I currently said, we know we have got the financial power to meet his valuation. We know it would cost us in the excess of around at least 80, 90, 100 million pounds, to get him in the summer. Reportedly, his agent or his current former agent has revealed estimated how much he will cost in the summer. Maybe just under 90 million pounds, something like that. So I do think we're going to go for Koulibaly in the summer because I do think he's unhappy at Napoli now. He's been there a number of years. He's grown and developed very, very well. His versatility is good. He's 27 years of age. He has still got quite a lot of years ahead of him, and it would be good for him, to experience the Premier League. Koulibaly, as I currently said, and I do think he intends to come to Manchester United, in the summer, does Koulibaly, because he's unhappy at Napoli. I think the majority of this was due to the racial abuse he suffered, back in December. But he'd be a great leader in our back line. We know, obviously, he'd be a great leader in our back line. He'd look good if you put him alongside Lindelof and Eric Bailly with Koulibaly. Still got a contract with Napoli till 2023, of course, as we all know. But his performances have been absolutely unbelievable. We had 3 bids turned down in the process. The recent one was 95 million, but Napoli confirmed they weren't willing to do any business in January. But if we are willing to offer around 90 odd million in the summer, it could convince Napoli to sanction Koulibaly off, as I currently said. But he's tenacious. He's got a lot of tenacity about his play. He reads the game well. He's a defender that can play out from the back. He's aggressive in his play. But everything about him is just absolutely fantastic, as I currently said. So I do hope we do get him in the summer, to be quite honest with you. But we've also looked at Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar, as I have been updating you about that on a couple of occasions, Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar. And I do really, really like, Milan Skriniar, and to be quite honest, I really, really highly rate him. He's 23 years of age. He's 4 years younger than Koulibaly. He's nowhere near the same calibre or same kind of level as Koulibaly, as I currently said. But I still do like him, to be quite honest with you, Milan Skriniar, because since he's been at Inter Milan, his performances have been very, very impressive indeed, his Milan Skriniar's. I think he's rated at around 70, 75 million pounds, reportedly, as it did confirm throughout the January window. The actual Inter Milan boss did actually come out and he actually did say that nobody can afford him, and reportedly Inter Milan were looking to get him a new contract renewal at Inter Milan. But we have been linked with Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar as well. We know that, a few other names have been mentioned. We know that Toby Alderweireld's been mentioned as well from Tottenham, and he is Premier League proven, Toby Alderweireld. I did say I think he needs to adjust his game a little bit more. He's 29 years of age now, Toby Alderweireld. I think he's slowed down a little bit. I think he's lost a yard of pace as Toby Alderweireld. I still probably think he'd be a good leader in our back line, if we were to actually, attempt to go for him in the summer, because we know Tottenham have extended his current deal till 2020. It includes a 25 million release clause included. So that's, a reasonable figure, to be quite honest. It's quite cheap, 25 million for Toby Alderweireld, but he is 29 now, and he does understand the Premier League, does Alderweireld, but, I probably maybe would have reservations if he come to Man United, because he has lost that touch a little bit, and he has lost that yard of pace, as I currently said. Dad, what are you doing? Having a wee? Yeah. Just talking about something. I know. Would there? Did you? Russia. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but as I was saying, yes, so we have, previously been linked with him as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did actually praise Harry Maguire, because he did actually say in relation to Harry Maguire that Harry Maguire is a fantastic player for Leicester City, and I do rate him, to be quite honest with you, Harry Maguire. I think he's played very, very well for Leicester this season. I think he's only 25 years of age, is Harry Maguire. He's Premier League proven. He's very, very good from set piece as well, is Harry Maguire. So he's another player I'd actually like at Manchester United as well in the summer, if we could go for him, because obviously he was one of Jose Mourinho's targets last summer, was Harry Maguire as well. He's another player I do like. But we know that there's been other names mentioned in the media as well. We know that Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund winner, 18 years of age, he got mentioned in the press a couple of days ago. He did reportedly say it could cost us in the excess of around £90 million, something like that, to get Jadon Sancho, and that is a staggering amount of money for a player that's only 18 years of age. But reportedly, since he's broken into the first team with Borussia Dortmund, reportedly Jadon Sancho's performances have been very, very impressive indeed. Since he's gone into the Borussia Dortmund first team, reportedly he actually used to play in the Borussia Dortmund reserve team as well. Jadon Sancho's obviously been first choice over Christian Pulisic this season. For Borussia Dortmund, he is a winger, only 18 years of age, as I currently said. So it will take in the region of around at least £90 million to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him in the summer, Jadon Sancho. He's had experience of playing in English football before Jadon Sancho as well, because he spent a couple of years with Manchester City. Man City offered him around £30,000 a week, but reportedly he got turned down, so he moved to Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund paid just £7-8 million for Jadon Sancho. He actually began his youth career with Watford as well. He spent numerous years at Watford. I think he joined Watford at 7. He spent numerous years at Watford, then joined Manchester City at the age of 14, but he was only at Manchester City a couple of years. But he didn't break into the first team with Manchester City. Did Jadon Sancho, as we all currently know. But he's only very, very young, as I said. He did renew his contract, so he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. As this player, and I did say, he's only 18 years of age, but since his arrival in Germany, Man United have been keeping a close eye on Jadon Sancho, as I currently said. But reportedly, so we have kept an eye out on him as well. And Borussia Dortmund have done business in the past. A couple of their youth players, they've sold. They sold Christian Pulisic 58 million, as I currently said. But obviously, he's going to be officially playing for Chelsea, next season. But they have agreed a £58 million fee, and obviously Borussia Dortmund sold Ousmane Dembele for around £106 million to Barcelona, as we all currently know. So Borussia Dortmund are known for doing business, in the past as well. But reportedly we've identified him as a possible summer target, Jadon Sancho, as I currently said, and he's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years now. But since he, has been at Dortmund, reportedly his performances have been reportedly impressive. Manchester City do actually have a buyback option on the player as well, but I don't think City will be going for him, to be quite honest with you. But I know he got mentioned in the media. We know that Felix, that Benfica player as well, he's been mentioned in the media as well, and he's only been in the Benfica first team since last year as Felix, as I currently said, and since he's broken to the first team with Benfica, reportedly his performances have been very, very impressive indeed. As this Felix, 19 years of age, has yet to senior debut for Portugal, this Felix, as I currently said. But reports, coming out saying that Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye on the player. It did say throughout the January transfer window that a few other teams were interested in him. Liverpool reportedly had the £61 million bid turned down for him as well. And he's versatile. I think he mainly plays on the wing, but he can play as a midfielder and a striker as well. Can this Felix? I can't remember his first name, but he has got a £105 million buyout clause in his current contract term as a player as well. So that is staggering amounts of money, as I currently said. But it did say reportedly, a few teams were interested in him as well. We know that Steven Bergwijn Stephen Bergwijn, however you pronounce his surname, got mentioned in the media as well in January. The PSV winner under contract with PSV until 2022. Reportedly, he did actually say a few teams have been interested. Man United instructed scouts to keep a close eye on Steven Bergwijn, but only 21 years of age. He is Dutch, as I currently said, but since he's been in the PSV first team, which has been quite a lot of years now, his performances have been very, very good. Reportedly, his performances have been very, very good this season, as well as Steven Bergwijn's, as I currently said. As I did say, rated at around 24-25 million, but Man United do want to keep informed if PSV are willing to do any business. They may be willing to do business in the summer transfer window, as I currently said. But as I did say, you can see the vast improvements, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming. You can see that, but defenders playing from the back, midfield, ball playing midfielders, as I currently said, the midfielders improved. I think, we've got that determination, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we're showing that determination, that attitude, that we do want to play for him and that we do want to win games. And, I think you can see that we have got that ability, to attack, score goals and create, which is very, very good to see, as I currently said. But there is still key areas where we do definitely need to strengthen up, and we are aware of that. Obviously, the club is still looking to hire a director of footballing, before we obviously, commit to any future signings, as I currently said. We know that Mauricio Pochettino does keep getting mentioned in the media, as I currently said. But as I did say, Mauricio Pochettino will not leave Tottenham anywhere. As I currently said, I think he's happy at Tottenham. He's fully committed to Tottenham. In terms of silverware, Pochettino hasn't won out, but he's done very, very well in the Premier League. And, he's got a good record with Tottenham. He had a good record when he was at Southampton. This is his fifth season at Tottenham. He's only spent £50 million at Tottenham since, 2014, as Mauricio Pochettino, as we all currently know. But I think he's a good manager, Pochettino. As I did say, he's good at developing young players. He does understand the Premier League. He has a good philosophy. As I currently said. But in my opinion, as a Manchester United fan, we don't need Mauricio Pochettino. We do not need him. I think Solskjaer is the right man for Manchester United. Won 9 out of 10 games, as I currently said. And you can see the vast improvements in the team, as I did currently say. So we don't need Mauricio Pochettino, to come in at Manchester United. But reportedly, he has been the number one, for quite a while. Obviously, Pochettino has been managing since, 2009. So he has been managing, 10 years now or something like that, Mauricio Pochettino. But as Danny Levy confirmed the other week, as he currently said, it was quite a while back, but he did say he was not willing to let Pochettino go. He was not willing to let him go. And did say if Man United were willing to offer him the access of 50 million, he wouldn't let Pochettino go. It has reportedly said that Madrid have been interested in recommending Pochettino in. It also said Chelsea now showed an interest in recommending Pochettino in, because obviously reportedly the pressure is mounting up on Sarri. It's only Sarri's first season, as I currently said. It's only his first season. He did get Higuain in the January window. Pulisic obviously going to be playing for them next season. And obviously Chelsea could still see some other their players leaving as well. And obviously Chelsea going to have plans for the summer of finding a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, and obviously backup for Jorginho, because obviously they didn't get a replacement for Cesc Fabregas in January. as I currently said. But Sarri reportedly is under pressure because Chelsea suffered a bad defeat against Bournemouth. That was their heaviest defeat in around in the Premier League in 23 years or something like that. But reportedly Sarri is under pressure, but it's only his first season. Chelsea are well known for sacking managers because they've sacked quite a lot in a short period of time, which I've already discussed with you, such as Jose Mourinho and Scarari and Conte and Avram Grant and VS Boas. So they have sacked quite a few managers in a short period of time, as I currently said. But it's only his first season. He's Sarri's. From Chelsea's perspective, they'll want Champions League football for next season, so they potentially do want to get in the top four. If Chelsea do fail for top four this season, Sarri could be sacked as Chelsea manager. So he would have really had a short tenure with Chelsea. If he does get sacked, if Chelsea do not make the top four this season. Obviously they're in the Europa League, and obviously they do want Champions League for next season, as I currently have said. But as I did say, obviously, I think other Chelsea players could leave in the summer. I think Gary Cahill could be on his way out in the summer. David Luiz's contract term is coming to an end as well. And I think Chelsea have got quite a few aging up players in the squad. I think they've got quite, a few players that, they've got a few fringing players as well of Chelsea. But in relation that I do think, that Callum Hudson-Odoi could be leaving in summer. I actually think Callum Hudson-Odoi will, go for the Bayern Munich move in the summer. He'll try and push for the move to Bayern Munich. Because obviously Bayern Munich were strongly expressed their interest in Callum Hudson-Odoi throughout the January window. Bayern Munich had been in negotiations. Bayern Munich had reportedly put around 4 bids in. Was it 5 or something like that? Chelsea had turned, I think, 3 of these bids down. Bayern Munich reportedly come up with a new bid of around £40 million. And that was actually Chelsea's valuation. But Callum Hudson-Odoi's perspective, he did want to leave Stamford Bridge due to the lack of game time he's been getting. He hasn't started a game in the Premier League this season for Chelsea as well. He has been playing in the cup competitions as Callum Hudson-Odoi, to be quite honest with you. But reportedly Chelsea were reluctant to let him leave in January. And then I think as it came to the end of the January window, I think Callum Hudson-Odoi accepted in reality that Chelsea not going to let him go. So he accepted saying he'll stay for the remainder of the season, meaning that Bayern Munich will push for to try and get him in the summer, and he'll probably push for the Bayern Munich move in the summer as well, because actually Callum Hudson-Odoi did put in a transfer request in. He did put a transfer request in, did Callum Hudson-Odoi, as we all currently know. He put a transfer request in, but only on 18 years of age, and it reportedly said Bayern Munich were willing to offer him the number 10 shirt, as that did confirm, to full at Bayern Munich. But Bayern Munich obviously have been looking, to get a few young players in their team, because they've got quite a few aging up players. Arjen Robben's probably, set to leave Bayern Munich in the summer, as I currently said as well. But as I did say, Chelsea probably, will improve now, to be quite honest, because they've got signing of Gonzalo Higuain, who I do think is going to score goals for Chelsea, as he did do against Huddersfield. Scored 2 goals. Eden Hazard scored 2 goals, as I currently said. I think Eden Hazard now, his performances will improve again. Obviously now Chelsea confirmed the sign of Gonzalo Higuain. This obviously allows Eden Hazard to go back in his favoured position on the left-hand side, because obviously before Chelsea got Higuain in, Hazard was playing in the false number 9 position up front on his own. So that's obviously not his favoured position, so that's going to affect how he plays and stuff, and that's why he was playing pretty poor. Eden Hazard, he wasn't scoring goals and stuff, because obviously that wasn't his position. But I think Higuain's a good signing for Chelsea. He'll score them goals. He's 31. He knows Sarri. Sarri knows him, as I currently said. And it's likely Chelsea will probably develop the loan into a further 12 months. Maybe even buy him permanently in the summer, which will cost Chelsea around £36 million. As I currently said, they want to make the deal permanent in the summer. Then probably, or they may just, develop the loan into a further 12 months. It will cost them around 16 million. And then probably after that, then maybe buy him permanently, as I currently said. But he is fulfilling that number 9 role, is Higuain, as I currently said. But that was obviously one of the most essential areas where Sarri needed to strengthen up, and he has got Higuain in, so he's very, very delighted about that. But Eden Hazard, he could still leave in the summer, because he's not a move out from Chelsea, as we all currently know, because he did admit after the World Cup last summer, Eden Hazard, that he did want to leave Stamford Bridge. He hasn't potentially ruled himself out of making a move to Real Madrid in the summer. We know it will probably cost Real Madrid in the region of around 90, 100 million pounds to get Eden Hazard this summer, but we know Real Madrid, of course, have been strongly linked with Eden Hazard. He did admit before that he loved Real Madrid. He could still stay at Chelsea at Eden Hazard. They're not be quite honest with you. But Eden Hazard, as I did say as well, Premier League proven for me. Still the third best player in the Premier League, behind Salah and Kevin De Bruyne. Is Eden Hazard, as I currently said. But he's been at Chelsea since 2012, hasn't he? So he's been at Chelsea 7 years. He's grown and developed, and he's flourished very, very well. Scored over 100 odd goals, made over 300 odd appearances. His current deal does end in 2020 with Chelsea, but in the process, Chelsea want to come to terms of getting him a new contract at Stamford Bridge, to fend off the interest from Real Madrid. But Chelsea have been in talks in the process of doing this. As he currently said, but he can play as second mid. He can play on the left as well, can Eden Hazard. But obviously, Chelsea's plans are obviously to get the top four this season, to get them in the Champions League for next season, obviously, and to get a replacement for Cesc Fabregas in the summer, as I currently said. Will Sarri get sacked? He probably won't get sacked. If Chelsea do fail for top four this season, then I do think he'll probably, get sacked by Chelsea, and to be quite honest with you, as I did currently say. But, Chelsea have still got good players, as I currently said, in the process. As I did actually, see the game yesterday between Manchester City and Arsenal. It was 3-1 to Manchester City. Sergio Aguero scored a hat-trick as well for Manchester City. I think Arsenal's goal was Laurent Koscielny who scored Arsenal's goal. But it was odds on, really, that Manchester City were going to win that. Manchester City are obviously going for the title this season. It's between them and Liverpool. You could say Tottenham are in it as well. Tottenham are in there with a shout, to be quite honest with you. But Manchester City played very, very well yesterday against Arsenal. Won by 3-1. Could have been more, to be quite honest, if it wasn't for Leno, Arsenal's goalkeeper. But you can see that Man City have got quality up front. They've got a better team than Arsenal, because City have spent a lot of money. They spent 500 odd million, under Pep Guardiola. As we all currently know, and he's a great manager, as I said. He's won 26 trophies in his managerial career so far. Pep Guardiola, and he's won a lot of silverware, as I currently said. But Manchester City are still in shout, for the title. Liverpool obviously play West Ham tonight. City are only 2 points. City are only 2 points now behind Liverpool. So if Liverpool, slip up tonight, it could go either way in the title race, as I currently said. But as I did say, on Manchester City Arsenal preview, and to be quite honest with you, I did say City were going to win, because Arsenal obviously, obviously Arsenal had a lot of injury problems, going into the game. They had like Socrates out. Koscielny did start. I thought he was going to miss. They had Xhaka injured as well. He suffered an injury, so he didn't play. They've got Rob Holding out for long-term absence. They've got Hector Bellerin out as well for long-term absence. Welbeck's out. They had Mkhitaryan out as well. So you can see they have got quite a few injury problems of Arsenal. And obviously one of the key areas where they did need to strengthen up was their defensive position, Arsenal, as I clearly said, because as I did say, with the quality in Manchester City, with the pressure they can put on, with their front men, with the likes of Aguero in their team, Gabriel Jesus in their team, Kevin De Bruyne, the second best player, in the Premier League, is obviously going to cause problems, for Arsenal's naive defence, as we all currently know. And obviously Arsenal's record against the top six sides, is very, very disappointing. But maybe some Arsenal fans may be coming out now saying Umremre finished, but Arsenal can't really blame Umremre. You can't blame Umremre. It's only his first season. Obviously, it's a transition season for Arsenal, because obviously throughout the January window, it confirmed obviously that Arsenal are only required to make loan signings. Umremre himself confirmed that Arsenal could only make loan signings, so he did confirm, Umremre, he ruled out of Arsenal making any permanent signings in the January window due to their financial restraints, as we all currently know. Denis Suarez did make his debut for Arsenal. Didn't see how he played, to be quite honest, because I didn't really watch the match, to be quite honest with you. But obviously Arsenal would have been disappointed that they didn't have a player on loan, before Arsenal will be disappointed, in the way that they didn't get another player, that Umremre wanted, before the January window ended. So he did want someone on top of Denis Suarez as well, did Umremre, but it failed to currently materialise, as I currently said. But Arsenal have got a lot of problems. Obviously, their objective this season is to get the top four, of course, as well. As I did say, maybe some Arsenal fans are convinced that they don't think, Arsenal will get it. But, Arsenal did well early on this season. They went on a 22 match unbeaten run under Umremre. They haven't done too bad at the Emirates this season as well, of Arsenal. But yeah, they've got an owner there that doesn't invest any money into the club, as I currently said. He actually takes money. Stan Kroenke actually takes money out of Arsenal Football Club, as I currently said. But definitely in the summer, Umreme's got to think about recruiting and getting signings in the summer, because Arsenal do need at least another two signings at least in that team in the summer. They've obviously got that versatile midfielder in Denis Suarez, but I still think they need a defender. They still need a winger as well. So there's still a key areas in Arsenal's team, where they do need to strengthen up, as I currently said. But Arsenal have got to give him time, as I currently said, and Arsenal haven't been getting the right amount of money, to spend on currently, players they want, as I currently said. And as I did say, he's obviously got the summer, to strengthen up Zoom Remy. Probably they can be eligible, to get permanent signings in the summer, as I currently said. But Arsenal obviously want top four to invest more money into their club, as I currently said. Ramsey's obviously leaving in the summer as well. Aaron Ramsey, as that's already confirmed. Ozil's future is still very, very uncertain. Could he leave in the summer as well? In lack of game time he's been getting. He's had a few injury problems as well, as Mesut Ozil. He's had a few injury problems as Mesut Ozil, as we all currently know. And he's missed a lot of key games this season for Arsenal. He's obviously on £350,000 a week, so potentially he's Arsenal's highest paid player, is Mesut Ozil, as we all currently know. And he's been very, very good in the Premier League since he come in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League good, 6 years now, as Mesut Ozil, as we all currently know, 6 year. But this season, since Umreme has come in, he has really, really failed to adapt himself as Mesut Ozil, as we all currently know. That's why there was strong speculation of him leaving in January, because Umreme did say he wanted to sell Ozil, to raise some funds. And he actually demanded Ozil, to leave Arsenal. It did say Inter Milan were interested. It did say on deadline day that PSG had inquired about getting Ozil on loan. Reportedly, PSG, I think, actually agreed to pay all his wages, which is £350,000 a week. But reportedly, from Ozil's perspective, he turned this move currently down. So he could still leave Arsenal in the summer, but he is age 30 now, he's Mesut Ozil. Don't forget, as I currently said. But Arsenal have got problems that they do need to address. They need to address the defensive deficiencies without a shadow of a doubt in the summer, as I currently said. But the main part of this video is just to mainly talk about what's been going on. But the main headline is, I think Sanchez is, you can see the majority of improvements in Solskjaer's coming, but I think the only main player that does need to improve is Alexis Sanchez. He really, really needs to improve to Sanchez. And I think if he does get more game time under Solskjaer, I think he can improve Alexis Sanchez. But there's areas of his game he does need to adapt. To be fair, he scored against Arsenal in the FA Cup, and it was a well taken goal, to be quite honest with you. But he's not the same player, as he was at Arsenal, as we all currently know. And obviously we're paying him a lot of money a week, so we want the best out of Sanchez, when he does play. And so far, we haven't seen that. And I thought he wasn't good against Leicester. I don't think he was that good against Leicester. He gave the ball away a few times. He lost the ball too easily as well. Did Alexis Sanchez, and I think Sanchez has got pace, but obviously I just think Martial is much better on that left hand side, as I currently said. But as he did say, Solskjaer's praised Marcus Rashford, fantastic performances, he's been putting out for Manchester United. 9 out of 10 wins now, so 10 games unbeaten, for Manchester United, which is very, very good to see. It's good to see, indeed. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take